Now, each of our three classes of citizen has a virtue, a good moral quality associated that's particular to it, that it is its particular virtue. So let's look at the virtues of the individual parts of the state, and then we'll look overall at what Plato tells us justice, which is the virtue of the state. Well, first, let's think of the class of citizens, the guys who love pleasure, material things. And I should mention that Plato in the Republic has talks about what's called the myth of the metals. That is, people are the class that the people are in. The kind of people is made an analogy to metal. The three kinds of metals being bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze being the regular citizens, the regular everyday folk, the people, the craftsmen, the merchants, the citizens. The silver people being the guardians of the state, the soldiers, and the gold people being the rulers. But let's take a look at the bronze people, the citizens. What is their particular virtue? And Socrates or Plato argues that it is temperance. That is, their ultimate driving force in life is pleasure, seeking money, material things to fulfill that. And to prevent them from going kind of off the deep end, the virtue that they have to show is that they can control this urge. Now, the guardians, the soldiers, the silver people have a different virtue. That is, their virtue is that courage, and it's almost courage and loyalty. It's loyalty to the state and to the laws, and courage to protect the laws. And finally, the rulers, the people who make the laws, and I kind of mentioned this before, their virtue is wisdom or knowledge. That is, they need the virtue if the right people, or at least in the just state, the right people are ruling are the people who know how things need to be organized, and thus they can make the laws to organize them. So now each kind of person in the state, or each group of people in the state, have their own moral virtues. But now, justice in the state, according to Plato, is that there is a certain harmony. Now, what brings out the harmony? And he argues, well, what brings out the harmony is that everybody does what he does best. A farmer knows farming. If a guy makes a fortune in farming, he thinks, and he tries to go become a soldier because he has enough money to buy his way into it, it turns into a disaster. That's the kind of argument that Plato gives. So he says justice in the state, this harmony, is that each group does its own function. The function of the citizens, the people who are pursuing pleasure and material things, are to produce their particular good through their own craft. The function of the guardians is to maintain order, maintain law, maintain security. And the function of the rulers, the gold people, is to make the laws. So justice is the harmony, that is, each person does his own function.